Welcome to Model Horse Tack School. My name is Carrie, and today we're going to work on the collar for the harness module. And this would be for your carriage horses and your draft horses. And we're going to take this steps at a time, okay? We're not going to, because it's got at least 3 parts. You got your collar, you got your peak, which is really only for your show draft. This one has a peak. And then you have your hames, okay? So, the pattern that I have that you would need to buy if you want to make this, okay, it's this size, okay, and this is 25% larger, so you need to increase by 25%, and then this 25% smaller, okay, and so like this guy, and I love him, I think he's gorgeous. So I just went to fit it, and sure enough, it fits him. So remember, it fits on the shoulder here. You don't want it to fit lower. And then we would buckle it here. Okay, so that's 25% larger. And the hames, if you want to buy hames, these were from Rio Rondo. Okay. And you just need to add your chain or your closure at the top and the bottom. Usually it's chain, but you could use strap if you want. You do that, and then you have a nice working, possibly even a show harness. So this would need a peak to be that. This one has the peak. So these are handmade. And I'll go over that when we do the hames. And that's your peak. And then this is the collar, and so this is going to fit a lot of your normal carriage horses. This one here probably just fits. It could be a little bit larger. So when doing the fitting and trying to figure out how big this should be, I use that piece of wire in there, and that's why I'm doing fitting first. So I usually use the floral wire that's covered. I don't have any of that. So if you don't have any of that, you need something that's got a little bit of heft to it. This is an armature wire, so it's a little bit, it's soft like this. And then I've even, just because it's big enough, I've actually used this pewter. I'm sorry, not pewter, solder. So the solder is nice and bendy, and it's not going to fatigue. So it'll give long life to your collar. So what you can do is take your wire and you're going to let's see if we can. Going to want it to be where it would end, so it's not going to go all the way up, okay? It's going to end right about here, the wire, because then you have your closure. Now you could probably go, that's about right. So I would hold that and then go all the way around to the other side at about the same place, okay? And then let's go ahead and cut this, being very careful not to hurt the horse. Okay, so this is the pattern. And so if I was going to do him, I'm going to need to increase the pattern. And yeah, try not to get too many whatever in there. So I definitely need to increase the pattern. It's not going to be long enough. Okay, so if I do the same thing on this guy, and he's more mid-range, so anything on him would probably fit any of your other carriage horses. I don't have a Frisian. The one that they have, I think the head is way up too high. I put a breast collar one on that one. I wouldn't put a regular collar, but you know, that's me. Okay, so I'm going to go right here at the shoulder. I know it's going to stop right about, you know, right about there. See, it's not, I'm not going over. I'm going to stop it right about, in this case, where that mane is, and I'll bring it around And basically I'm trying to match where I would fit the collar and then up again. So that would be my pick right there. All right, so now I know that's going to be the length of my collar. So it's almost perfect to this. So probably, you know, I would increase it a little bit, but this would probably work because this here worked. It was a little small. So it depends upon how perfect a fit you want. Okay. And that's how you figure it out. And then in the pattern, so let's see what that would be. Okay, so what I would do on this one here, that's not very much, so maybe 5% bigger I would do for this one. And then of course for the draft horse, like I said, I did about 25% larger. Changing the size of the pattern is kind of a bit of an art form. You can kind of measure, you know, how much bigger it needs to be and then do math. You guys like to do math? I don't like to do math. Okay, so, well, that's too small. So here the collar is about 5.5 inches. And so this is, need a bigger one, 7.25. And so we would do, okay, math, 5.5 divided by 7.25. Okay, now that means if we go times 100, that puts it into decimals. So basically it's 75. 75 minus 100 is 0.25. So, or is 25. So that's our 25%. And that's what I did to get the bigger one. All right. Now this smaller one is just almost, it's almost nothing. Hey, stop that. So we would pretty much, you could do the same thing. The length of this is 6 inches. We'll call it 6 inches. Round up, it's easier. So now I can go 5.5 divided by 6. Okay, so we go times 100 and then minus 100. And so they'd be 8.33 larger. Okay, we know larger because the wire is larger. Getting your the right size is important. Okay, now for the pattern itself, you've got this. You're also going to need some type of stuffing, and you can use cotton and you can use batting, but remember to have that. There's our collar top, and then we need this for the buckle. So as far as materials, I am using a very, very drapey, easy to manipulate chrome tan in black. All right, we need our wire. Now usually I use floral wire that's covered in fabric because it'll help it stay. And I'm not gonna recut this. So the wire that you're gonna use needs to be smaller. It can't come over the edge, so it's gonna be slightly smaller. And this stuff has funky little... Another reason why these are good to have. They're toothless. I don't know, duckbill, platypus, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to try and get rid of some of those weird bends. Get that totally straight. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with the closure at the top. So I got a 3/32 inch buckle, and then I'm going to have a couple of about an inch, all right, or 3/4 of an inch, and we'll make our buckle strap. It's a Monday. It feels like a Monday. It's really weird. I haven't worked in over a year now. like a job. It just feels like a Monday. That's weird. Alrighty. And we might want a keeper on this side. Okay, so we'll do a fixed keeper here real quick. I won't make you watch that. Alright, so let's find this. So usually you buckle on the left side, but one side is going to get your buckle. Okay, and then one side is going to get the strap that goes into that buckle. Give it enough here that it doesn't pull out. Okay. I wish I had this leather in a different color, but okay, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a point here. And this side we want it, like I said, at least stay about a 1/4 inch or a little more. That will glue it down. And in this case, it's going to be right side down to the leather so that your right side is facing up. So I got right side to right side. Yeah. Okay. So that's ready. Let's go ahead and put that aside. All right, so now we've got our wire, which we use to see if this is going to be a right fit for our animal or not. Okay, we are going to glue along this entire edge. And I'm going about a 1/4 inch out, maybe a little bit more. Put your wire in the center of that. Hopefully no funky bends in it. And we're going to roll this. Okay, so suede side is here, right side is here. And what we're trying to do is make it nice and tight on our roll, because this is the rim of your collar right here. So I really want that edge under. Okay. I want that edge touching. So I don't know if you see that, but I'm pushing it in to hide the edge. So it's just one full roll over. Try to get it as even as possible all the way. Okay. So just get rid of that little bit of glue there. Now, this is still a 2 3-ounce. Okay, it's not sure it came from a purse. I don't think I bought the skin. I think it was just a garment of some kind that I found that was just the right leather. Usually garment weight leather is same as your 2 3-ounce. Sometimes it's even thinner. Not as easy to find these days. But there you go. That's that. All right, now here's why you need a flexible leather. It's because we're going to roll these edges too. And I'm just going to do them one at a time. To be able to keep my fingers clean. So alright, so that's the smallest rollover that I can manage. And now I need to do the other side. There you go. And I know in the center here it's a little difficult, but just do the best you can to get some type of, so you just don't want this as your edge. All right, you need something like that as your edge. And that'll be important as we get this more assembled. Now at this point, you would, let's get a little shaping. So we'll take whatever our model is. I wish I had a carriage horse, but I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and give it some shape. Okay. I think the important thing is to make sure that it's symmetrical. You can see it's starting to look like a horse collar, right? Okay, now we're going to get these pieces, and they need to go here. Following that, so we need to put glue in here. Right in the center, right here. Right along this rolled edge. And we're going to tuck it right in there. Yeah, you're going to have to work it in there because this is going to be bigger on the outside than on the inside. So now we're going to push that right into where that rim is so that it looks like there's a seam there. All right. And yes, I'm always peeling off glue. So we want to start right there. There's an overlap. It's okay. And then so I want you to see here that the inner is right at the center, okay? This inner seam here is right at the center. There's an overlap. That is okay. And then we're just going to push it right in to where that roll is. And I don't do anything about this. I kind of leave that the way that is. All right, so there you go. All right, right here in the middle, I'm going to go ahead and cut that right to the rim. All right, so just right to where our rim is. So our next step is gonna be stuffing. So for stuffing, you can use batting if you want, fluffing, whatever. I have cotton. Now cotton balls work better. You still have to kind of fluff them out a little bit. I like these pads. When I use them, they don't get hairs, little fibers in my eyes. So I much prefer these over cotton balls in my bathroom. But you can still kind of work them so they're just cotton again. All right. So what we're going to do, we'll do this a little bit at a time because you're dealing with glue. And so you pick one, and I'm going to start gluing the edges. So there to there, and then right along the edge, a little bit at a time. To make it easier to stuff it. At least I find it easier. So see that folded, see how it was folded? We're gonna we're gonna go ahead and this edge. So this is where we're making our third dimension. So if it seems a little weird, it's because we're going from 2-dimension to 3-dimension right at this point. All right. So edges are gonna just about fit, and I don't want to go too far, so I need to put a little bit of stuffing in there. Might be too much. That looks good. So there, just a little bit of stuffing, then I can go a little bit further. Put it in. And close it up just a little bit more. Yeah, I love how it likes to stick to my fingers. All right, and I'm gonna kind of push that down a little bit. See that? And lay down a bead of glue. Let's find some fluffies. Get that stuffed. Maybe to there. A little bit more. All right. Now, it's going to be most stuffed right down here where it's wide. Okay. So you need to make sure you can do the same amount of stuffing on both sides. And you're trying to stay away from big lumps. And you can tear it apart and restuff as many times as you need to get the look. Lovely stuff. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue that shut at the top here. Now if you want to run an edge coat along here, you could do that. It's still, you know, glue isn't dry yet, but there you have stuffed. So I'm going to go ahead and do this other side. Here you go. Okay, so yeah, it's just an edge coat. Entirely happy with that. Okay, so that's what your collar looks like. And back. You can shape it to the horse because you got the wire in there. And you slip it on and you buckle it. And that's the first step to holding it in place. Okay, so, well, you get it. All right. Well, thank you for spending time with me today. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and have a good day.